Any ideas?
Okay, hi everyone. Lots of people already going in the chat, which is fantastic to see. Yeah, so I went to put my camera into the laptop and turn on my OBS, and OBS is telling me that this camera does not exist anymore. So I was down this main camera, which is a big eep. So I have a feeling that I may have someone else's camera from when we were doing Keystone this past weekend. That was a little panicky discovery. So luckily OBS let me do some settings here. It just means it might be slightly off than what it normally is like. I'm going to try and fix that later because 10 minutes before streaming is not the time to start fiddling too much. Did what I could. But let's see, we have Jan already in there, and we have Opera Ghost, Mike Hawkins, and Miksona. Oh, I trip over your name and I'm so sorry. Miksonovitsky. Hello to all of you, and those of you kind of lurking in the background, hi and hello. I have started, what I'm going to try and do is, before each of these streams, is load up basically the simple rules of what to do when you're in the chat, because I want to make sure that the chat is a encouraging, positive place to be. And just a couple little housekeeping things there. I also made sure that that involves the Discord link as well. Jan, you're wonderful about making sure that gets pushed throughout the rest of the stream, which is thumbs up, yay. So that is just something I thought I'd start doing, and I'll throw in some of the links towards the end. More like, you know, the merchandise and the Ko-Fi and Patreon and all that other stuff, and where you can find me in the socials. But today, we're going to be painting up the Bone Devil from WizKids Wave 9, and this guy is cool. He's a very cool. Out in stores now, for those of you wondering, these are ones you can purchase now. When I'm saying Wave 9, they are available for purchase. This is the back of the packaging here. So we have this lovely sickly dude, and the reason why I gravitated toward him is because when I was doing Cthulhu and I did that first layering up with him, there was the whole thing where everyone was joking about he looked flayed. Well, this one's kind of flayed. So I thought it'd be cool to incorporate the bloody reds and gory reds and all of that stuff. Buonasera, sir. And I'm going to give our Bone Devil the flayed flesh and decayed flesh look. I think I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the skin that is left. There are some flaps of skin. Doesn't that sound lovely? The skin that is left, I will give it more of a kind of a greenish look to it, I'm thinking, as opposed to the flesh tone they have going on here. So a couple little variations as to what I want to do with him, but this is going to be sort of a standard quo paint up in terms of what he's going to look like, simply because it's something where the Hubs needs him for his maybe campaign. I don't know. But this was the what do you need painted, and this is what came out. And hello, Dice Guy, and hello, Michael Clark, and Flayed Mignon Upper Coast. There's an order I won't ever see the same. No. So I took, from the Vallejo color line, I took Charred Brown, and I covered him completely. The base, this is more my working off the paint color that I didn't need excess of. The base I'm actually going to finish up to look like, probably more like lava, cracked lava looking deal. I thought that'd be kind of fun for a Bone Devil. We shall see. But I'm going to focus on getting this mini done today. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So because I got the Charred Brown on here first, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to do my dry brushing just to sort of bring out all the details, because this guy has a lot. There are a lot of details in this one. He's also sharp. I'm not kidding. If you take a look here at the tail, this scorpion-esque tail, this, first of all, this little bit got underneath one of my nails, and ouch. So all of these little barbs are actually thorn-like and sharp. So I'm gonna give a handling warning on this guy. Be careful. There are some sharper bits and points because of all these ridges. There we go. All these ridges on the tail. They're actually a little pokey. So just be careful with that. Oh, now I want a pokeball. This is where my brain is right now. Pokeballs, why not? I make a mean pokeball, by the way. Homemade pokeballs. They're very good. And good morning, Nicholas. How are you today? Aw, thank you, Dice Guy. Yes, hit the like. Feel free to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. I never do that stuff. I always feel so cheeseball doing that. Don't forget to smash that like button. But, oh, that reminds me. Channels hit 11K. I was just checking the channel out to make sure that the stream was published. And I saw the subscriber count, and it was one of those like, oh, hi. I've been so busy this summer. It's one of those things where I've kind of been looking at it. I think I looked last week, and it was like less than 50 type of situation. And then when I saw it tipped over, it was one of those like, oh my gosh, yay! Okay, so yeah, Nicholas is vouching for the fact that his wife pricked herself when she picked it up. I was surprised at the talons. He's got good self-defense, let's put it that way. So yeah, this is an odd handle with care, but this mini has a bite to him. So I'm going to take, first, I'm going to jump over to using Khaki. Again, Vallejo color line. So I had to reset the camera, that the main camera using OBS is setting, so I'm a little bit off. I can tell already. I have tried my best to try and get this going. There we go. I just might have to tilt things slightly differently. So I'm going to start with Khaki. I'm going to do this dry brushing across everything to bring out all these fantastic details. Hello, Andrew. Thank you for joining us. But yeah, it is the last week before school starts. Next Wednesday is the first day of school, which means next live stream, I'm going to be especially peppy and excited. Although they do have half days, so actually one I think is coming home about the time this gets started. But I will be able to kind of just sit and get things pulled together, and it's not the juggling act. Thank goodness Kid 1 is very responsible and helpful. He was actually able to make lunch today while I was trying to figure out the camera situation, because I didn't have time. So he was very helpful, and, he's going to get a little boost for that one, too. Hello, Brent, and hello, Daniel. Let's see, anyone else pop in here that I haven't seen yet? I don't think so yet. Belgium. How is it in Belgium? Most dangerous mini ever. Possibly. So I have my white paper towel. It doesn't have to be white, just as long as it's paper towel. And I'm going to I'm actually taking one of my more gnarly brushes. You can see it's all flared out. That's the word I want to. Not flayed, not sprayed, but flared. I'm going to be using this one because the texture on this guy is so intense. I'm just using an older brush for this one because, I don't want to crack open a new brush and it becomes an old brush quickly as a result. So basically taking the Khaki, loading up the brush just enough, not so that it's super heavy. Extreme Painting Miniature Series, blood for that blood. Good. Yep, that's kind of where we are. Let's see how many times I poke myself and start bleeding. I am kidding. The mini itself has some fantastic details, which we're going to reveal in just a heartbeat. Reason why I did charred brown and didn't jump right to black is because I wanted this to have the warmer undertones and the aged skeleton look that you'll find often. Yes, I was looking at archaeology digs of mummies. That's how it works. Hi, Dan. We're flaying stuff? Yeah, we're flaying things again. That Muse and her flaying, I don't know. But yeah, I was looking at mummies from digs, especially ones that still had, sounds so bad, especially ones that still had the flesh attached type of situation, and just looking at the coloration of stuff. And I felt that if I went right into doing a really dark brown or really dark black, it's basic black, it'd be too much, and I'd have to do too much pull up with the colors, which I really didn't want to get into because I'm not looking to make this a super technical paint. This is going to be something I'm trying to make more of a speed-esque type paint because he's got some details on him, but I don't see him taking too terribly long, especially once I get this first shadow layer going. And for those of you that are new, I call this my shadow layering, where I'll put a dark color down and then go over with a brighter color, not a brighter color, but a lighter color. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine there, Dice Guy. I don't know why YouTube flagged that comment. So it gives me a better sense of the details as they come out, and it takes out a couple little extra details of layering that might have to go into it if I didn't. Holy heck, those are sharp. I'm hearing the brush get torn up as I do that. So as you can see here, we'll take a look at the legs here. You can see I have more of these details coming through because of the khaki on here. If I kept it the flat charred brown, you still see them, but they don't pop as much. Nothing quite as fun as checking out those juicy mummies. Juicy. Oh, Dice Guy. You're my type of humor. And yes, Dan, brown undertones. Yeah, for most of the skeletons that I do tend to go towards the browns. However, skeletons that are more, and again, I do my research, skeletons that are more waterlogged and have been in wet environments, they actually do take on darker black tones because of the molds and the things like that that'll start to grow. So in that case, like say if this was a body pulled from the deep, I actually would go for a black base and then jump up to a grayish tone, believe it or not, and then let my wash be the Agrax Earthshade to get in the warm tones as well and kind of create a neutral effect as a result. The weird things that she knows. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. Let's get the back of these legs. Look at those calf muscles. He does leg day. He totally does leg day. But Keystone, let's chat about Keystone, shall we? Keystone was awesome. It's a smaller convention. It's run by the same people who do PAX Unplugged and that type of thing in Philadelphia. It's a smaller convention, more comic book based, but it was a lot of fun to hang out with the guys from Nerdarchy and the guys from Devil's Luck Gaming, as well as Mike from Unmade Gaming and Lauren from, she's Ms. Ginger Ninja. I think I got that right. So I got to hang out with them all weekend, and we had a panel a day, and we did get them recorded. They're in process of getting pulled together, and I believe Nerdarchy is going to air them on their channel at some point. So do keep that in mind for those of you who are asking me. Yes, we worked to try and get this pulled together, so at least there was a recording of these panels done. And we had a fun time with them. We met, we discussed things, and then we presented. Who knows, you might actually see one or two of them, maybe all three of them at PAX Unplugged if you're going to that. Nothing official yet. That is completely up to Nerdarchy Dave. It's something he was mulling on. So just, bear in mind, keep that in mind. You might have a chance to see those in action if you are going to PAX Unplugged and he decides to move ahead and do that. I don't know if I'd be able to be on every single one of those panels because, again, that's 3, and I have 3 workshops already booked with PAX Unplugged themselves, so I can't really renege and wiggle around those too much, and I don't want to, quite frankly, because I like being able to do that craft stuff. Since it so rarely comes up in conventions for me. So maybe at least one of them, maybe, hopefully, we'll see. But again, this is all very fresh, theoretical, not quite sure yet. As I do get more information, I will let you know if it does come about to be the case. So yeah, stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. You really do like that tail dice guy? I don't. It hurts. It's a pokey. And not a good poke. That sounds so wrong. Not a good poke. God. Yep, I went there. Hey, you know what I'm like when I play Cantriel. This is not news. The double entendre. So right now I'm almost done. I'm just getting his hands here. Hold on, let me push camera down. Like I said, I'm having to regroup slightly. Oh, there we are. Much better. So I'm just getting the arms now, again with the khaki. I'm not going too heavy-handed here. I really just want to pop these details out so we get the shadows and the lights playing off of each other. Moldy, says Dan. Yes, moldy. That's gross, but awesome. Research is fun. It is so fun. And once upon a time, for a brief little hiccup before I realized that chemistry and I did not get along, archaeology was something I was kind of toying around with as a, what do I want to be when I grow up type of scenario. But yeah. And then high school chemistry happened, and yeah, that dream went out the window. And instead I fell in love with British literature. So hey, that all comes together in its own way. Bad poke demon. Oh, hold on. The lady does the research. Conan the librarian approves. Oh, good. I'm glad you approve of that. Ex-librarian tech. Oh, cool, Brent. That really is cool. bad Pookie Demon. This is delightful. Yes, like I said, I had to do a little bit of funky play around, so you're catching me on the still fine-tuning here as we go. It figures. I got the new lighting, already had that all set up, and then I think I don't have my own camera. I think this is someone else's camera that I'm using right here. Oh well, I shall investigate and message later. That might just be something where this is going to be temporarily mine until we meet again at PAX. Because we were all planning on being at PAX, which is cool. But yeah, it was fun. It was really great to meet people. Oh, and James in Tricasa was also there, and he was lovely to meet. He did the panels on Saturday and Sunday. We actually had some time to hang out and chat. And that was fun because everyone keeps saying to me, how is it you don't know James? And it's like, I don't know him. I didn't realize he and I lived in the same state, derp. So that was pretty funny. But yes, we had a lovely lunch after the last panel on Sunday, and I got to showing off some of the stuff that I have at home in terms of my train and minis, because that came up, and the others in the group got very excited over that, and they might actually be coming up at some point to play a game at my house, which will be fun, actually. I'm looking forward to, if that's a possibility, having that pan out, because it was such a fantastic group of people. It was no drama. Everyone's just kind of like easy going. Yep. Tell me what you need to do, where you need me to go, what you need me to say. Really was great. Every single panel was just, it was like having a conversation with friends. And by the end it was. So that was just pure awesomeness. All right. I'm just adding in a little bit more here, and you'll see I do this. I go back over in some areas and just add a little bit more to those higher parts. Again, the brush isn't too overloaded. Now, I did not go through really all too terribly much to but to skim off any mold lines and whatnot, because there are so many finite details on this one. I didn't want to muck or mar it up. So that is why you might see a couple of mold lines, but quite frankly, especially with this guy, there were a couple little hidden through here, but I'm not touching those. I'm not touching that because they hurt. Okay, so this is a pretty good... This is about what I want to see here in terms of details coming out. And I will go back in where there's bone and kind of do a little bit more with a lighter tone. The Bonewhite might come into play at some point. I am going to do just a little bit more through here. But yeah, he's got some really nice little bits and pieces showing through now, and I'm happy about that. Oh, you know what? Let me get the ribcage just a little bit more here. I do want that shown off a little bit more because I wanted to double check things. That I think is translating as some flesh there because the ribs disappear. James is the best, Dan. I agree. Montana Muse and the Temple of Doom. Montana. Oh! Indiana Jones. Light goes ding! Light bulb. Let me see here. Yep, I think I am good with this. I think I'm happy. Now I am going to have some fun and, focus. With his eyes, I do want to give them a nice glowing quality. So the eyes I'm going to do last. I'm thinking like a glowing orange would be really funky cool. So we'll do that. Hello, Jedi Jim. And this is a Bone Devil from WizKids. Out in stores now. Is part of their Wave 9 that I was giving some previews. Just rinsed your brush and your coffee. Welcome to the club. Raise your hand if you have accidentally dunked your brush in your drinking container. Hello. Hi. Normally my water, which is always fun. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump over to Gory Red. Give it a little shake. But yes, the Vallejo Gory Red is getting put into play here. And that's what's going to go onto those bits of, not flesh, but the the muscles. Oh, I'm a little flustered from that tech issues. So sorry. So sorry, darling. We also have, I have on deck, I have this family. They're my Pinnacle patrons. And their son, he's very active in the crafting group. And he and I have an appointment this afternoon where we're going to sit down and chat about the things he's making right now. And I am tickled pink about being able to do this with him. He's such a sweetheart. He's been sending me messages back and forth this whole past week. We're working around his school schedule. And my kid's soccer schedule, that's kicking in today. So yeah, that was something where I'm excited to see what he wants to show me. He's making things, like he's doing some cosplay stuff, he informed me. So that'll be fun to check out. It's really sweet to hear him all giddy about it. I have several WizKids minis that you haven't done anything with yet. Hi. Yeah, I have a few too. A few, she says as she looks. Oh my god. If I ever did my unpainted mini count. Mike Hawkins, no, I have stood firm on this. If anyone wants me to try out those contrast paints, send them my way. I am not purchasing them. It's too much of an expense, and I'd rather put the expense elsewhere. Just try sticking your brush behind your ear like a pencil. Yeah, right. I have done that a few times. But no, those contrast paints, I'm not touching at this point because they're not cheap. I have so many paints. So right now I'm just going in with the Gory Red. I have so many paints, it's silly to even start looking into getting more. Again, if they were to be sent to me, if someone is specifically requesting that I try them out and give my personal feedback, that's one thing, but I'm not seeking them out. So there's that. They haven't come up in a few weeks though, so that's been a nice break. Now that you mention it, let's see. Oh, hey, Jordan, how are you, buddy? The PH is silent. Another fantastic channel. Go check out Jordan. Jordan has fun stuff on his channel too. How you been? How are things in Jordan's land? Chatting at Gen Con. Oh god, that was so much fun catching up with you at Gen Con, Jordan. I'm so glad we actually crossed paths there. There are so many people I wish I connected with and I just didn't have time to. It was nuts. Yeah, the Michael Clark, I agree. The white one is a great miniature from WizKids, the White Dragon, as you've mentioned. That was a great one. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going in with a fine tip brush right now and I'm dancing this Gory Red, love the names, the Gory Red over where I see the muscle striations. Again, I don't want to go too deep. I want to keep that dark brown towards the bottom. And there's also bits of bandages that are wrapping around, so I'm trying to keep that off there as best I can. Yes, he's got some rather enjoyable videos. My boys thoroughly love watching his channel. There are days I come, and actually it's going to start back up again because they do it before school starts, or like actual school starting. I'll come downstairs and I will hear Jordan's voice blasting off of our TV. And my two boys are sitting there having their breakfast in the morning, just watching your latest videos. It's quite amusing. That was not intentional. Rehearsing a play. Ooh, very cool. Good. Break a leg. I'm not going to say the other one. I caught myself, so it doesn't count. Oh, boy. I'm going to tuck in a little bit more of the red through here, because that's looking like a bandage wrap right there. So yeah, basically just take this fellow and rotate it through. This is looking like some back here. Oh, this tail. I am not looking forward to moving this tail around. Gory Red on the juicy mummy. Yeah, this is a recipe for nausea. Just a dash of Gory Red. You know, you want to further desiccate those muscles. Put some Gory Red on top. I think this is more. Yeah, that's more. I'm just trying to decide if that was more, if that was bandages. I think that's more musculature right there. Here we go. I am slightly dabbing off. I've actually moved my paper towel to the side because it's causing flare-up. So I am dabbing off extra paint onto my paper towel, just little by little. I don't want the tip of the brush too overloaded because then it will seep into those cracks and crannies that I don't want them to. But you can see this Gory Red is super effective. I love how vivid it is. It's one of those reds that's just, it goes on and it's what you want. Let's see, Brent, used to build models in your youth. Painting and detailing was always expensive. Yeah, he's sitting right here still. Cthulhu is still sitting with me. Their Cthulhu mini, I'm totally tickled to bits with how he came out. I did send a couple photos over to my contact at WizKids. She then informed me that there were people sending her links already from Facebook and Twitter, wrong TW, of the posts I had put up of him. This is going to be one of those funky angle deals. And turns out it was like video game developers who were sending her pictures like, this is a really cool color combination, da 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 da. So who knows? There might be a tropical Cthulhu popping up somewhere. If that ever happened, that would be awesome to see. I'd be like, yes, like Thor. Yes! Totally would be my reaction. Totally and completely, because that would be kind of rocking to see something else outside of a gray or a black or a green Cthulhu monster. All right, that gives you a sense of this red going on. I'm not going to do too much crazy layering of reds like I had done with Cthulhu. I'm not going to keep building up. Did I ever get the pics of the... No, because I ran out of time was the issue. And my apologies for that, Opera Ghost. Last week got away from me time-wise because I was trying to get ready for Keystone 2. And then I have a double header on Thursdays. And anytime I thought I had flew out the window right quick. So I'm going to try and see if I can get that at some point over the next week or so. Again, now that the kids are heading back to school, life will be a little bit more sane. Is that the word I want? But I do want to get pictures of those for you. Absolutely, Opera Ghost. I almost said Opera Geek. That is my other friend. The Opera Geek, Kelly. My girl. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of these. I'm looking. Let me see. Is this more... She questions out loud. That's looking more like bone now through there. Right? Yeah, I think those are more bone. Yeah, this is bone. So I'm actually going to stop with the gory red here at the knee. I'm not going to pull that down at all. Let me check the other leg here, though. Leg. This has a little bit going on here. Just going to put a little bit in here. Nothing too crazy, but I am seeing that this is filled in a little bit. And I am going to go back over with, because I did get on the bone here. I'm doing that on purpose because I can't reach. I know I'm going to go back in and just put some more dry brushing on here for the bone areas. So that I'm not as worried about. And thank you, Opera Ghost. Not surprised, but was a bit surprised with your color combination, but it worked. I tend to not go traditional colors. It's kind of become my thing. I'm just doing a quick look at the photo. Yeah. Yep. Okay, so then this is more like, looking at the reference photo, this is more like fabric that's caught up in the pelvic bone. So I'm going to leave that alone. But into the rib cage area, we do have some muscles kicking in there. So I'm going to put some of the gory red up here on the rib cage too. 2 weeks, man. But there's the trade-off. You have the kids getting out in May. I have the kids getting out in June type of scenario. And I forgot to get my lovely bobby pin. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. I adore my children. It's always nice to have some time with them in the summer. But even they're getting ready to head back. And you can tell because the bickering has anteed up a little bit. So what I'm doing here for the rib cage is I am putting the gory red on. And since I know I'm going to go back in, I'm going to use that to help highlight more of the ribs as they show up. If I try and paint this in individually, I'm going to make myself nuts. It's going to be very time consuming. And again, I'm trying to get this guy done. Hopefully within the next hour is my target goal. If that happens, fantastic. If not, we go from there. And I just lapsed into... Oh, I have to check that date. I just lapsed into Thailand as well. But I have first soccer practice of the evening kicks into gear tonight. So I will be sitting in the parking lot while Kid 2 is getting his first practice in. And I'll be working on my Last Air campaign plotting. Because we took last weekend off since I was out of town, as were other players. Kind of didn't make sense for DM and players to be absent trying to stream from hotels because that sucks. So we jump back into things this coming Sunday. Will be episode 4 for the Tales of the Old Margrave inspired Last Air. I really am enjoying it. If you haven't gotten that book yet and you love spooky, creepy woods, curious monsters and things like that, get this book from Cobalt Press. It's pretty phenomenal in my book. Yuck, yuck, yuck. Ooh, this guy definitely has the muscles. We also have it in the jaw area. So again, I'm going to go through here and get, well, I need to get more Gory Red on my paintbrush for that, don't I? We have the jaw muscles showing through with that open mouth, so we're going to do that too. Worst time ever for the internet and the phone to go down while on bus ride home. Oh no, Michael! Shoot, give it a second and hopefully it reloads for you. Yoink. So we're going to get that around here. Yeah, I definitely want to get that through here. Get the Gory Red on. I am going to do a little bit on the skull. They don't have it in the reference photo here, but I'm seeing some where I think that would actually kind of add to the creepiness and get some of the muscles. Traditional is just another word for normal. Normal is boring in my honest opinion, and I agree with you, Brent. Completely. Completely and totally. Be unique. Be a black sheep amongst the herd. Yes, see, there is more. I'm going to add some more of this Gory Red here because I'm seeing, yeah, those are muscles. So kind of the same thing. I'm going to put this Gory Red on the skull and then I'll go back in and dry brush with a different color to kind of give the bony underneath, or the bony accents on top while letting the muscles live underneath. Because, you know, skeletons and stuff. All that fun goodness. Okay, now they did have for the wings also getting this flayed flesh look. I'm not doing that. I'm actually going to jump over to using, what was it, Gobbo Green? Caymen Green. I'm going to use Caymen Green on those. Hello, full shot of life. Yes, full shot of life. I don't know why I faded out on that one. How are you today? Glad you could make it. I think I'm going to call it now with the Gory Red at this point. I have it where I want it to be. He is very flexible too, by the by. You can see I'm manipulating the tail around. I'm trying to be careful around this tail. Yeah, I'm liking that for a creepy flesh factor. Yeah, I'm going to move on to Caymen Green on the wings. Again, I thought it'd be cool to kind of change it up a little bit and do that. Hey, Killamore, how are you? Brent, oh my gosh, I have a thing for Morticia Addams. I might even be her for Halloween this year. I'm not kidding. I have a dress. It is perfect. Tish, that was French. I love Morticia and Gomez so much. They're like one of my favorite couples. Seriously, they have an awesome relationship. Have you seen those two together? Well, you probably have, but I love Tish and Gomez. They make me happy. Okay, so letting this dry a little bit, and like I said, I'm going to jump over to doing Caymen on the wings because I thought that would be kind of a yoink, interesting way to spin it. Again, going slightly off book, not entirely. God, I was actually just looking at one of those gifts today. The new name for Gory Red is Mummy Meat. Actually, I kind of like that. Mummy Meat. Mummy Jerky. Or is that too dark? That might be too dark. V as Morticia. Yes, I just have to get a long dark wig. And then I will be a very happy, easygoing camper wearing my little, not little, I mean, it's a long black dress. It's a dress I actually got for the castle, but it's got the sleeves, it's got the mermaid shape to it and everything. Not mermaid, but the style of dress, the mermaid tail shape and all that jazz. All right, so I'm going to go in with the Caymen. I'm going to go to where they have in the sample, like they've made this all red too. I'm actually going to put the green on that so it looks like a green fleshy tone. Just for some fun, because why not? Sticking with that fine tip brush, I did rinse, and I'm going to go back in. Again, make sure your brush isn't too overloaded. And I'm just going to float the tip above things. And once this gets the Agrax on it, it's going to get this really cool putridy flesh look going on. It will be getting a highlighting of, I'll probably go back in with a slightly lighter green again to bring out those ridges a little bit more. One last round before I put the Agrax on. but I kind of picture this more as flesh as opposed to muscle, at least in my head. Do as you will with your own. Aw, yay! Glad to hear that full shot of life. I'm glad you're excited. I very much look forward to my Wednesdays with you all, and I know I say that each time, but it's the truth. It's the honest truth. You're fun. You are quite enjoyable to chat with whilst I get paint on miniatures. I'd do it every day if I could, but that's not feasible because, you know, streaming as well. Thankfully, that's on other people's channels. Streaming a game in my capacity, not so much. But playing on other people's channels is fun. Although, you know, being on Cobalt, that is a lot of prep work. It's the DM, but that's also fun for me because my players are giving me such cool threads to work and weave. Oh, I can't wait for this. This Sunday, I have something fun planned with Jim from WebDM. We had it because he couldn't make it last episode. We had it where his character kind of went on a walkabout. And I have plans for reliving this walkabout with him. I want to work on that tonight, and then I'll touch base with him and just kind of run over a couple pointers with him and see how he feels, see if he wants to add anything to it. Because I think it'd be a really cool arc to develop and explore with him. Slain is just, he's such a neat character. All right, tail is in the way. Gotta pop the tail back. Luckily, the tail is flexible, so you can manipulate it. But don't go, oops, hold on. Oh, that's like flesh. Don't go too ham on it. You could potentially snap it if you're not careful. So yeah, that's actually like a bit of flesh right there. Oh, thank you so much, Michael Clark. I appreciate that you're enjoying things. All right, that's one wing with the Caymen on it. He almost looks like a demented Christmas pixie. I'm not the least bit dark. Nope, I am not dark. Any tips for scaredy cats that wants to post vids and streams, but they're a scaredy cat? I'm asking for a friend. Start small. Just start doing streams with friends, having chats with them, get comfortable speaking in front of a camera. You can always, if you're on Twitter, keep an eye out for posts of people who are looking for new people who want to get into gaming. Hello, chat! And, you know, baby step it. If you jump in feet first into the deep part of the pool, it can be overwhelming. Let yourself get used to it. Even if you just sit with a camera in front of you and there's no one there, just sit and learn how to speak to the camera, interact so that it's not this little mechanical device, but it's someone you want to interact with. Like, hi, nice to see you. Things like that. And watch other YouTube channels, other people who do YouTube channels. Watch them, not necessarily crafting ones. The crafting ones, you tend to get more like this, the frame right here where my hands are moving. You get more of like the hands moving, everything like that. You get less so of the smaller camera angle like me. So it helps to see how other people speak and interact with their cameras as well. And watch other streams and things like that, just to sort of get better versed in... She's talking so much, her brush just dried out. It just helps you get better versed in how to interact with the cameras and what to do, and be true to yourself. Don't put on a major personality. Am I always this on and goofball mode? No, I have my quiet times. I have my pensive times, absolutely. But don't become something so extreme of your natural self that it's exhausting to keep up, because you're going to burn yourself out just by doing that. So, yeah, just take it a little bit at a time. Don't pressure yourself that you have to be like X or Y or Z. But do look back at the ones you enjoy watching as channels. Consider what it is you enjoy about their channels, what it is you enjoy about their personalities, and reflect a little bit about what you want to bring to the table and how you'd like to be known. That's really my my sage advice for you. And don't be afraid to make mistakes. You will make mistakes. Mistakes will happen. Hi, Kelly! It's my girl. Kelly, the opera geek, is in the house. Hi, love. Burnout does suck. I've come very close to burnout a couple times, which is actually why I took off her terrain this summer. I was hardcore burning out. In fact, ideas were not coming to me. I was actually quite pleasantly surprised with the Tory Gate, because that was a patron request, and I was like, do I have the wherewithal to actually want to go through with this? And it was a different enough project where it did kind of give me a jump start, but I just knew by the time summer wrapped around that I needed to pause. And I have paused, and I'm glad I paused, and I've actually got a couple of ideas knocking around in my head now. So actually Friday, this coming, not this Friday, next Friday, mwah, darling. Next Friday I'm going to do my first terrain live stream, and I have a little project I'm going to start with you guys, hoping I can get it done in the first stream. Seeing how that goes will then dictate if I'm going to keep going with doing a patron request. Okay, these little barbs, they're a little sharp. It's already digging into my finger just by shifting it over. So yeah, I'm going to be doing terrain mostly as live streams, and then for when I finish a build, because it's going to be smaller things, it's not going to be like a massive big projects or things like that, then I'll go back and I'll go through my recorded bits and I will turn them into feature tutorials, and then I might even have fun and use the whole Premiere feature that we have now on YouTube where I have it start up and we can watch it all together and chat about the video when it does air live on the channel. So I have some plans for the terrain just to sort of whittle back and make it far less time consuming, because in the end I was spending way too many hours each week trying to keep up with getting terrain tutorials out there, and honestly I have fun with the mini painting. The minis are my my enjoyment level right now, at least. Yeah, I like this fleshy tone. This Caymen green is the flesh. So I'm going to leave it at that for the Caymen green. Now I need to go in and get the bandages. Did I forget to pull the color? I think I might have forgotten to pull the color for the bandages. So I'm going to go back and grab some things for those gnarly bandages. And good morning, Ravenwolf. Or afternoon. It is afternoon, yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, darling. Oh, yes, the Premiere feature. It's something cool where Lilac does it sometimes when he has a chance. And it's fun to participate in those. So I was thinking, if I do that, then those who can't make it for our live streams, they can get the benefit of... That's not the color I wanted. Whoa, hello, wrong color. Yes, dead flesh. I want dead flesh for these bandages. You'll see why I'm going that. You're not allowed to eat terrain, Kelly. I'm more than happy to teach you how to make it, but eating is a different story. I'm kidding, because we had a fun little gag at PAX Unplugged last year. See, mistakes happen. I hate the camera. Basically be yourself. Yep, exactly. Definitely be yourself. It's the best thing you can do. All right, so I'm going in with dead flesh for the bandages. And again, this is going to be just danced across. I am going to flip to a different... I'm thinking... Question is, what am I thinking? No, I think I'm going to stay with this one. Yeah, I'm going to stay with my fine tip. I'm not going to get too adventurous quite yet. I want dead flesh. Quotes that you can pull from these things that are completely taken out of context. Not contest. Completely taken out of context that sound a little... Yeah, I want dead flesh. After the mummy meat. Oh, dear God. Okay, so going in now, I am going to put this... Focus. Through here in the pelvic area where there is definitely this gnarly bit of material draped into the pelvic floor. And again, I'm not worrying too much that I'm getting some of the vertebrae with this, because I am going to go back in for the bones themselves, which is going to be a lighter color. Sometimes it's a matter of knowing where your mistakes can happen, if that makes sense. Where it's okay if the paint gets there because you're going to go back over and cover it anyways. And that way you're not obsessing over every last little detail, because that can also catch up with you and make you nuts. And like I said, this is a guy I want to try and get him... Yeah, we should be able to. Get him to complete enough to get a wash on him by the time this is done. I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. Yeah, da, da, da. You can hear my ring. Ah, da, da, da. Dead flesh is mummy meat highlight now? Not quite, Mike, no. It's not being used as a full highlight everywhere. It's only going where there are gauze bandages and material left on this there's actually a different color used to highlight everything is the plan. A fell swoop of highlight for everything that's going on this guy. But I am liking dead flesh for the bandages. Oh, I think I need to restart the music. Why you no round? You're supposed to play all and keep repeating. There we go. All better. All better. There we go. Much better. Doesn't matter how family fronting paintings always have a ton of... Pretty true. Pretty true. Yep. Yep. There are some out of context quotes that just might have some clutching their pearls when they're done. It is what it is. Have fun with it, people. What's the point if you're not enjoying it, quite frankly? I mean, really. Once it stops being fun, that's where it gets to be tiring, and that's where you run into burnout mode. You have to take care of yourself. That's the other thing. You have to make sure you take care of yourself and that you, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty, trust me. Listen to your body, listen to your stress levels. You don't want to get yourself to the point where you're just fried. Are you pondering what V is pondering, Pinky? I think it's more of a loincloth than a diaper mic. It's not a baby bone devil. Again, it's just going to go where those wraps are, which is what I'm doing around the leg right now. Adding a little, going back, adding a little, going back. You can see there. And again, don't be put off by the fact that these colors are coming off as bright on the camera. I know that the Agrex Earth Shade is going to drop this 2, if not 3 tones down, which means it's making it a darker tone, which is why I'm comfortable using these brighter ones. Okay, that's one leg with the bandages getting on there. Oh, the arm has some too. Let's not forget those. Mummies might need diapers. They are pretty old. Yeah, but don't they take those out? Like the innards are out, right? I'm analyzing mummies way too much. Far more than I anticipated today, folks. If your mummy needs a diaper, that's a problem. So same thing. Dead flesh on this bandage. Oh, we have a fun angle. Hold on. I'm going to have to go off screen. Pull it up close because of how it's wrapped. You know I have to do it sometimes, but basically I need to pull that off screen so I can get right through there. All right, Chet. Well, I'm glad you could stop by. Thank you so much for saying hello. Good luck with the appointment. Hope all is well. And see you next week, hopefully. That would be lovely. Lovely. Be lovely to see you next week in the chat. There is a show on Netflix I need to put some earnest effort into watching. It's called Dairy Girls. The accents on that show. Oh, my little mixed self is excited for that. I want to do that voice. Of course, that would mean I need to create another PC, which means I'm doing another game. And right now I've got too many going. No, NPC. Oh, NPC. I forgot. I'm DMing. I do it an NPC. That would be fun. Getting quiet because I'm concentrating there. Okay, so you can see I got the legs all around. Yes, this is where that mold line is that I was talking about that I didn't want to putz around too much with because it was just too much going on around it. There's also some up here that I want to get on the shoulder. Can we get a cartoon spin-off? Devil babies. The devil. He's the devil. Foosball. He's the devil. Okay, dead flesh is going here for the bandage. Or the wrap, or whatever this is. It just looks good on there. I like the yellowish tone going on here. And once that Agrex gets on top of it, it's going to look killer cool. Killer cool. Does that. Oh, let me look, yeah, a little bit. There's a little bit I want to try and get behind. On the shoulder, in front of the wing. Because, you know, angles, they're fun. Look at the face. Yeah, that's definitely bone up there. Okay, so this takes care of where I want to put dead flesh everywhere. Ta-da! Let that dry a second, and now I'm going to move on to doing the bones. Oh, I'm glad you watch us both, Brent. The seasons of Dairy Girls are way too short. I completely agree with you. It's like you're like, whoa, no, come back. I swear to God, I have to rewatch season 1 because it got away from me in the last 2 episodes. Okay, so now I'm going to jump over to Bonewhite, which I have been speaking of for most of this show. So now we're going to Bonewhite, and I'm going to do dry brushing on where the bones are. I'm also going to do light dry brushing over the rest of this area to have it act as a highlight, essentially. It's going to go on right now. But I do need to make sure this is all dry. So let me shake this up thoroughly. And then we'll get to moving on that one. Jake, oh yeah, I knew you meant mini terrain domain. Jake's my boy. There's a Jake filter on Snapchat right now. Seriously, it gives you glasses and like a full massive beard. It's really cool. If you want to see what you look like as Jake, go check out Snapchat. Painting and Netflix at the same time is where life's at. I agree, Michael. That or I will do I'm going to start it up once the kids again are back at school. Because of language, I have fallen so desperately behind LA by Night, and I'm mad about that because that's actually my paint and listen to situation. But I have the kids home, and honestly, I don't like painting with earbuds in because half the time I get myself tangled up. So as soon as they are back in school, boy howdy, am I jumping back into LA by Night to get that one finished up, and then start catching up with everything else there. Because that's a stream I very much enjoy following along, big time. And I think I'm caught up with you guys in the chat. Oh, that's an interesting question. Full shot. You're very good at asking questions. I enjoy your questions for these streams. Yes, I did meet the Critical Role cast at Gen Con. They're lovely people. Well, see, that's a biased response on my part because I've had interactions with Matt for a while now. And Marisha. She's reached out a couple times too. So the two of them, it was really nice to finally meet face to face and chat a little bit with them. They're all wonderful people. There's different reasons why I, feel like I could connect with each one of them. Quite frankly, I was just happy to see that they are truly as wonderful face to face as I'd hoped. They're just down to earth, lovely people. And in my book, that's really all that matters. So what I'm doing now, I'm also trying to be very careful right now. I'm just taking Bonewhite and I'm essentially going back in and highlighting again. And this is going to kind of give it a little extra layer here. And then once the Agrex goes over it, it's going to basically blend this all together. And you'll get a cohesive paint look going on here. So you really don't want to be heavy-handed with your Bonewhite. You want to get those higher points, especially where the Gory red is. Because if you look at even just medical reference photos, muscles aren't pure red all the way through. They do get this lighter color. Yeah, see, I think how far am I, Dan? I'm on episode 8, so I'm getting close. And then I'll get into the epilogue area and go from there. And then you and I will need to chat because you're the only person I know who actually watches that show. In my circle of friends as religiously as I like to. So we'll have discussions later. Now when I get to the bone, I am going a little bit heavier where the bones actually are. This is also why I wait to do the bases because I'm going to pull color off into the side. I already knew I was going to do that. Behave. But yeah. What we're talking about, Critical Role. But yeah, they're good people. They're lovely people. It was a pleasure to meet them all and see them interacting and, see the familiar getting ready to go on and perform for others. And it was great. It really was a very special memory and one I'm always going to cherish for sure. Yeah. That's my 2 on Critical Role Live that night. It was such memories. I'm happy you like my questions. No. Absolutely not full shot of life. I enjoy the inquiries and the questions you present. Gives me something to jabber about. And there'll be a pop quiz later. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. It's again, I'm going through with Bonewhite. Just being very careful over where the gory is. And then I'm going a little bit heavier where there is definitely bone. And again, since Agrix is going on top, I know that this is not going to look as shiny and new. Do be careful. This is a very thin arm. It could snap easily depending on how you're handling it. So we have that really barbed tail, but some more delicate pieces as well. All right, I'm just trying to be very careful. I do want to bring out the muscle details, but I don't want to go too ham and cover that all up. And I'm just using that super flared out brush again for this area. And that you can see how that just raises all the details up again, which is what I wanted. Oh, what'd you say? Watching the boys on Prime, getting some figs painted up for him. Okay. And I do have some, if you stick around for the end of the chat, I made sure to get some links and stuff pulled together. Don't forget, there is that Discord that's floating around every so often. Jan, if you're there, would you mind popping the Discord in? I do it myself, but right now I'm kind of working. Full shot. Okay. Or FSLL. No, that's a mouthful in of itself, but full shot. That'll work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is the body starting to look like I want to. This tail, I tell you. Now I'm going to focus on the skull a little bit. The eyes I'm definitely going to do after I do the wash because I don't want them getting, since I want them to have that glow to them, I don't want them getting blurred out by the Agrix, and Agrix can definitely. Moment of truth here, folks. Let's bring this face out. Oh, yes. There we go. You're a creepy creeper, aren't you? Oh, this is a hard angle because of tail and areas I want to hit. Pardon, but this is about as good as I can get right now because I'm running out of hands. Yeah, I like that a lot with the... I gotta figure out what happened with this whole camera situation. It's so bizarre. Okay, now I'm going to move around to the back. Again, shift tail. Flip the back. Orange. Un momento, per favore. Grazie mille. Full. There we go. Oh, cat hair. Surprise. All right, taking the Bonewhite still. Going across the back. And now up and onto the wings. And just very lightly. And as you can see, you still get that Caymen green underneath, but those details are pulling up and out more. And this tail is hurting my finger. Ow. Sorry about that, but it was piercing my flesh. Bet that's not something you thought you'd hear about painting a mini today. It's piercing my flesh. Thank you, Jan. So, oh, jeez. And I am going to get this Bonewhite, put a little bit more in a heavier hand towards the end of the wings here, because that's where they are turning into bones. Concept. Same for along the ridge area. But yeah, this is shaping up as I'd hoped. So yes, we are going to do the wash in a little bit. Look at that. Look at that. I love it when it actually does what I was hoping it would just do. Back to the front here. Do a little bit more. Now I am going to turn this slightly so I can see the top portion and work this. So that is a little bit more, it's more than a dry brush, it's more of an overbrush at this point. I don't want it perfectly opaque, I do want that aging bone effect, but I'm going to put a little bit more in there. Yep, blood, sweat, and tears. And you thought crafting was relaxing. Whoa, hold on. Oh yeah, we're back to Citadel again. I can't speak for them. I will say that someone in my group has done a lovely review of them, and he keeps posting the miniatures he's painting of them. Oop, that was way out of frame. It looks like if you get the right combination going and you get your base color going, you can definitely crank out things quickly, which really seems to be mostly the purpose of those, for those who want to get like your armies done in fell swoops and things like that. So they do look quite effective for that purpose, absolutely. I think for those of you who do the mini painting more for the enjoyment of, well, the playing with colors and adding layers, you may not enjoy them as much. I can't speak for you personally though, but that seems to be the general consensus I am witnessing from other painters. Okay, he's definitely getting there. Now I just need to do the tail. I don't want it's fragile and it's deadly. Full stop. Full shot. Full stop. Full stop. Full shot. It is, yeah. The ankles are definitely weak. I am trying to be careful as I'm manipulating him and bracing him. Oh, God, this does not feel fun on my finger right now. But this area is definitely, it sure don't tickle. So what I'm doing with the Bonewhite, because I actually pulled the Khaki up from the base, I'm pulling the Bonewhite down from the tip to get to the rest of the bone, but add some variation in the color. And I found it's easier to kind of take, because the tail's almost like a diamond in form, so it's easier to do the first two sides of the diamond, flip them over and get the other two sides, is what I have found with getting details on him. And I am going to bring this, I have to let go of that, that was ouch. Just bring that down into the base, and then let's, oh, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like this man I am. Youch. Okay. This is going to be fun because this is wandering already on me. Again, same thing. I'm just pulling from the tip down towards the base at the spine and getting those other two sides of the diamond form to the tail. But again, this guy has some really cool details. There we go. And now, it's going to work a little bit more on the upper portion, which is hard to kind of show off there. But there you go. That gives you a sense. You know what? Let me do a little bit more. Stop wiggling. Just want to do a little bit more on these horns at the top of the skull. I do want to bring those out more. And you'll see as it dries, sometimes you might want to go back over and add a little bit more, like I'm doing right now around the face. Yeah, that's more where I want things to be. Okay, so I need to let him dry, so what I'm going to do now is jump over to... Am I trying to rebrand you? Maybe. Possibly. You never know. I have ways of doing things. I'm going to work on the base because I want the paint to dry completely. If I were to go in right now with the Agrax and do the wash, this is going to turn into a washed out, muddied mess because I need these paints to be fully complete and dry before doing anything else. So what I want to do is, I was talking about making it look like it's sort of like on lava, hot lava. So I have, I'm looking at colors right now. So I'm going to grab hot orange. Which red do I want to do? I don't want to do bloody red because that's too orange of an orange. Orange of a red. I'm going to go back to Gory red actually. We'll go back to Gory red as well. I need a bright yellow, so I'm going to go to gold yellow. And then I'll pull out dead white to start working on some things. And then we'll go into black and charred brown. So this is sort of a layering thing I'll do sometimes for a lava look on miniature bases especially. And this is going to be looking a little chaotic while I do it, but it makes more sense once I get the top two colors on, which are the black and the charred brown. So I'm going to start first with Gory red, and I will dab that around on the base. Let the color fall where it may, although I'm going to be careful around the feet. And this whole brown thing I'm not worried about. It's going to translate out just fine. So dipping a very beat up brush into the Gory red and then removing some, and I'm just going to go through and chaotically blot this red on, see how it takes. And just dab it around. Now it's a murder scene. Now it's a murder scene. Again, if you take a look at your reference photos, oh, and I gotta be careful around these feet. I also am not going to do like a source lighting type of thing. I'm literally just kind of like, it's on lava. The floor is lava. If you look at reference photos, you'll see lava is a blend of all these different colors of the reds and the oranges and the yellows and the whites that sort of peek through. So right now what I'm trying to do is get just a smattering, I like that word, a smattering of colors around on the base, but I don't want it full coverage. All right, so let that dry a little bit. I know it looks like a 4-year-old is painting right now. I know. That's okay. In fact, you want that to happen. That's actually something I'm excited to do for PAX because I'm going to be doing some color theory-esque type stuff when it comes to painting terrain, because I'm going to be doing marble floors and sandstone floors for tiles. So it's not all gray. In fact, I think that's what we titled it. It's not always gray, or beyond the gray, something along those lines. I have to need a thimble band-aid. I just saw that comment, Dan. Actually, not a bad idea. So that I'm excited to explore because so many people have commented, especially with my dice towers, because I have the rainbow sandstone as one of them. And I gotta tell you, in real life, that's a really cool finish when it's done. But people have said, I like how your stone has color to it. It's like, well, stone naturally does have color to it. But just a lot of us default into gray stone dungeon, which really isn't the case. So I thought it'd be fun to incorporate some of that into the 2 workshops I'm going to be doing at PAX Unplugged. So I'll be showing you quickly how to make the tiles, adding texture and the grid for the marble tile side of things. And then I'll show you how to get one side painted up to like tile floors, because some people are doing Call of Cthulhu and other games that have more interior home-esque landscapes as opposed to dungeons and such. So I thought it'd be kind of neat to nod towards those changing trends. And then also do just a sandstone floor for, like temples and deserts and things as well. All right, so now I'm moving over to hot orange. Again, just loading the brush up. Let's see, is the red still too wet? It might be. It might be. All right, I'm going to wash in a glaze. Yes, the wash is very thinned out. A glaze is a little bit of a heavier coating that'll distribute more color for you, is really how it boils down. You'll see I'll do glazes every so often to add colors, add more intense coloring, I should say. And the wash is more to filter down and sit into the nooks and crannies and add a hue or a tone. Okay, I'm going to switch over. Let's use this one. So I am being a little bit more heavier handed now with the orange, so that it starts to show up against the red. I've also switched to a less flared out brush so I have more control here, because I do want this to get into the grooves and such as well. And again, it doesn't have to go every single spot, but you do want to have that presence of orange. It's also kind of tricky to reach and keep in frame. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that. It's just it's hard to show with the paints drying, but it's a very sporadic covering. And you have the red and the orange showing through as well as some of the white, which is okay, because if you look at lava, it's got these bright flash points. But the orange is showing in more than it actually is showing on the camera, of course. Other questions for me? Full shot? Anything else? So let that dry a little bit too. Let me see, do I have, oh, I do have, hold on. Okay, this is a mind flare that I've been working on. I'm painting him with glazes. I dropped the ball and I haven't finished him yet, but basically he was shadow layered, and I just took a green glaze over him, and you see the green starting to come through. It's a very, very pale green, but that's with a glaze as opposed to just a wash. If it were a wash, it'd be more like a lighter green showing through. You'd see the highlights more. So that kind of shows you what that is in terms of the glazes and the washes. Hurry up and dry. Haven't come up with a name for this fella yet either. What should we name him? That's a good question. Scorpio. That's a little bit obvious. He's Scorpio. He's a Scorpio. Yeah, this will be fun. This will be fun. All right, I'm moving on to gold yellow. That's going to go in too. And in this case, I am going to go to a smaller brush so I can get in closer to a couple of areas that I want to with this yellow. And again, the brush is more loaded up this time, so I can put the paint on top of the other paints. Paint on the paint. And it's just sort of random blotting, which you can see there. I don't want to get too close to the feet and muck them up, because that would be aggravating. I just play it by ear though. The yellow's showing a lot better than the orange did, but you can see what I mean by random smatterings. I'm just going around and kind of putting little dollops here and there. No rhyme or reason per se. Dusty old bones. Meaty old bones. We can name him Mob. Mob. Short for meaty old bones. Again, being very careful by the foot there. And this is going to look super bright when you first put it on. As it dries, it does tone itself down a little bit. Plus, you're not leaving this fully exposed. So do keep this in mind. It's not going to be this chaotically bright everywhere. Oh, we're getting a phone call upstairs. Telemarketing. Okay, so there we go. It starts giving you a sense of the lava look going on here. What's the funniest thing you've made into a terrain item? That's a good question. What have I used that's been fun for terrain? I have to think about that one. I tend to grab a bunch of different items where it's kind of like, oh, probably the, if you have kids, you can relate to this. Some kids' toys have these bizarre screw lock things that are just, first of all, a pain in the butt to untwist. But it's a lot of plastic involved with it. So I took a couple of these and I turned them into, one was a bear trap and the other was a bear trap mimic. That was kind of a fun thing to play around with. Orange juice bottle caps like Tropicana and, not sponsored, what's the other one? Tropicana and something else. They have caps on top of their gallon jugs and their 2-quart jugs. They're great for making statue bases. Okay, now this has to dry completely before I go any further, but you can see how there's this mixing of the yellows and the oranges and the reds. And you'll see why I did this. I also got a little bit of red right there on the heel, so I just want to fix that really quick. Going back with some Bonewhite. Funny haha, funny. I can't really think of anything that's like funny haha funny, but unique stuff. Yeah, probably that. I honestly have such a catch-all drawer of things. It's like, ooh, maybes. And some of them work and some of them just, you know, chuck it, didn't work out as you'd hoped. So I'm just going to go back in and just cover up that bit. Just to be safe. There we go. Ooh, he's feisty. Okay, so while this dries, I am going to move on to doing the wash now on him. And I've been saying this for a while now. I am going to do Agrax, which is from Citadel. It is one of my workhorse washes for sure. And for those of you saying, I do not like Citadel bottles, trust me, I get it. Go to Thingiverse and you can find Citadel support. Not pads. Feet. These work very nicely, so it sits and it has a balance to it, and it won't shimmy around on you. So I do recommend getting that. Do I prefer to make terrain or models? I like doing it all, quite frankly. It's just sort of my mood. I will. Thank you, Dan. In terms of what I prefer to make, there are times I'll get into terrain streaks. I'm just making terrain, or making scatter. I mean, with BB's place, I was definitely making a whole bunch of terrain, and that was fun. But I also like painting the minis. It's kind of like what speaks to me at the moment. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to start at the top of his head. Oops, need to let up the brush a little bit more. I'm just going to get this to go through. And the joke is that this stuff is called liquid or talent in a bottle. But this helps really land into those nooks and crannies and bring out the details again, which is why I like using it. Oh, that tail's going to be a challenge, though. So right now I'm just making sure I get this Agrax all over this fellow. Yeah. I don't know, I'm kind of liking Mob as a fun little nickname for him. But that is the next convention for me, is Mace down in Charlotte, North Carolina, where all of the crafting tabletop crafters guild masters will be there. If you want a chance to come out and meet us all, then get yourself down to Charlotte. It's with Just Us Productions. Check out their website and you can read into how to get there, everything it involves, so on and so forth. But that is the first weekend in November that we're doing that. All right, this is going to be fun. Trying to keep the tail away while I get the other areas agraxed. The trick with this is just making sure it doesn't pool up too much in certain areas. You can go back with your brush and sort of pull away if it's puddling too much. And just keep it moving around. If any of this gets on the base, don't worry about that, especially since we're still working on the base coloring. I'm actually not worried about it getting on the base. But right now I'm just going through and moving the shade around to get into all these lovely little details. Wow, this thing. Oof. Any plans to do a con in California? Aha, you and TJ. TJ was just bugging me about that yesterday. I have plans to go to Emerald City in March because I have so many friends who live in the Seattle area. I did want to get out to Seattle for a convention. In terms of anything in LA, not this year unless someone is inviting me out and they're picking up the tab. Let's put it that way. There's only so much I can do independently on my own dime. So if there's a convention you want to see me at, reach out to the people who coordinate that convention and mention it, that you'd like to have me out as a guest. Sometimes that helps get the ball rolling where they will reach out to me and say, hey, you're being requested as a guest. Why don't you come? And we will, XYZ, you'll get your badge, you'll get your room, we'll fly you out. All of that does add up and it ends up helping me greatly if they do, pick up that portion of the tab, because that's where it really gets pricier, those flights and the rooms. Okay, I am working on this tail now, and I will say this is going to want to puddle a lot because of all these little grooves. So just keep pulling it from the base to the tip in this case. Do not out of context that one. All right. Work quickly too, because this definitely wants to collect. But holy wow, does that bring out those fun little details. So yeah, that's the deal with the conventions. Maybe 2021 I'll end up in California. We shall see. I am going to do the scorpion area separately and work more side to side on that. Keep pulling this. This does puddle quickly on here, so just be ready to move it around. Okay. Alright, so that's him with the Agrax, which right now is showing off the flare, but you can see how it's brought the tones down big time. And it also has a slight little gloss to it when it dries, which means I'm going to be mattifying it. The protest begins today. Oh boy, what protest, dare I ask. Sometimes I purposely stay out of the loop of things. I do have, on my Ko-Fi, I'll have goals as to which cons I want to get to. I think I put up Emerald City for this one. You know, if you want to help out that way, you can help out that way, and then we'll see what I can do for next year. I do try and keep stock. It's going to be things like Gen Con will definitely happen. Unplugged is set in stone for me, quite frankly. That's going to be a convention I always plan on going to. I'm just letting him dry. I'm not doing anything more extreme with him. That's enough of the wash on him. And as the wash dries up and you get the glare reduced, because right now it's wet, you'll see these colors deepen and you'll get this really nice detail on this guy. Now it's just a matter of finishing up. Can I finish this up? I'm just testing the paint right now to see if any comes away when I poke at it. Well, I might be able to. Okay, so I was going to do white on this, but I'm not going to now. I'm going to save that for a just in case technique afterwards. So I'm going to go and I'm going to take black. Protest to the con to invite. Oh, don't protest, request. Request, don't protest. Request my presence. That makes more sense. All right, I'm going to go grab some black. Probably about black. Where's all my black? Oh. All right, here we go. I got some. So I'm grabbing my craft black because my other black is almost gone that I normally use. I have to order more. I have to order more of that black, and I can't use the one from Vallejo because that is too watery. That's actually more like a wash. So I'm going to take black, and I'm actually going to go back over here on top of things to kind of give this more of a look of soil on top. I want to make sure, yes, I'm going to use this brush, my nice little go-to chisel tip. Yeah, but no, just if there's one you have in mind, shoot them a message, be polite, ask nicely, say your please and thank yous, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm going to take the black and keeping this pretty much as horizontal to it as I possibly can. I'm going to start pulling it over. This I do recommend. Do smaller, shallower strokes on this. Don't go quick and fast. And just carefully layer, because you're going to see what's happening here. Because I'm keeping this to the higher parts, you have this, well, if you look at lava, it blackens on the top and you see the crust cracking and the colors emerging beneath. So that's what I'm kind of doing right now. So right now I'm just basically adding black to get the look of lava. And because brown is also going to go along the top as well, it's lighter layers first before going too thick. You don't want to cover it all up and then you have to basically negate the coloring underneath. Although the edges I am going to add a little bit more. Is that showing it better? A little bit. And this guy will definitely get his glamour shots, not to worry, so you can see the details a lot more. I gotta figure out what happened with this camera. I don't think this is my camera. What did I use to base it? Charred brown. Better the correct, yeah. Yes, definitely request. You protest if you don't want someone there. Which, Lord knows, we've seen that happen in the past. That is a thing that can happen. I'm going a little bit heavier on around the edge with the black. This is probably going to be a couple layers of the black now that I see this going on. But that kind of gives you a sense of what's starting. Once I do the second layer around, you'll see it intensifies more. So we're almost done with this fellow. Probably like another 10 minutes and we'll be good. So if you want to stick around, lovely. If not, I understand if you need to get going. But like I said, I'm hoping to get this guy done in one fell swoop, one sitting, so that he is off and ready for use at some point, question mark. I don't quite know what's planned with this one, but its presence is requested for color, which means it's going to get featured some way, somehow. Okay, right there kind of shows you what I'm doing right there. That shows you much, much better. So you see how that's sort of picking up this lava-esque look underneath because you're getting those colors bleeding through. It's looking like with this one, Nicholas, I'm going to do 2 layers of the black because it's not quite as intense of a coverage as I wanted. All right. Oh, Todd, when did you jump in? Thanks for jumping in. Nice to see you and have a great day. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be 2 layers of black. But it's better to add than try and take away. Seriously. It's a lot harder to take away than it is to add when it comes to painting. But yeah. Yep, 2 layers because I'm looking at how this is already drying on the one side. Much better with the 2 on it. That's giving me the look I want. I may actually omit doing any of the brown because I'm liking how this is looking just with the black. You see? Yeah, I'm not going to do brown on this. I'm just going to give it to the black layer on the top. Yep, 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 yep. Yep, 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 yep. Good old Sesame Street. We're getting there. Yeah, you see how that's hot lava. Now it looks like a nice lava flow. Volcanic flow, that's a good one to look at for references for lava. He's almost done. So I'm liking how this is looking. I'm very much liking how this is looking. We're almost there. What I'm going to do is, yeah, exactly, Nicholas. That's why I always plot what I might use, but be willing to adjust. I am going to give it a thicker black around the edge, though, just to get a little bit more, because when you go to put it on that black base, it'll blend nicely down into it that way. So I'm literally just putting more black around the edges. I'm not getting it all, but I do want it to intensify towards the baseline. But that's what I want to show off right there. So see, you have your hot lava flowing underneath, and that's where the smattering of colors definitely helps between your gory red, your hot orange, and your golden yellow. And you go let that dry and pop back up with flat black. And you get that effect. Just a really quick and easy way to give nod to a lava flow. Thank you, Opera Ghost. Yeah, he was a nice quick paint, and I had a feeling he was going to be easy. But this was a fun one. This is a fun one. Slightly treacherous, but he's pretty much done. He just needs to dry. So I'm liking that. What I do need to do is I need to pull together a grouping for my patrons to pick. Let me get my flat black background. My patrons, I need to get a group collected so they can vote as to who they want to get painted up for starting us off in September. Because that's happening next week. Holy jamoly. And we'll see who wins for next week on that one. And that's something all my patrons can do. So even at the $1 level, they can jump in and decide. Oh, no, honey. No. They can decide which mini gets painted up. Yeah, this gives you... It's amazing what happens to take away all that background noise of colors. But here he is. He's all set and done, this lovely Bone Devil from WizKids. It's a very cool sculpt, don't get me wrong. It's just slightly treacherous because of that tail. But it does make a really nice impact seeing all those ridges and the points in the vertebrae. But here he is. What I'm going to do with him is he is going to get mattified. Right now he's got a gloss to him simply because of the paints and everything. It happens. Oh, sorry, Craig. Oh, and Waster Warboss. Nice to see you coming in at the same time. So I am going to mattify it just a little bit. I don't want it to be super glossy and shiny because right now he looks a little, well, as was said before, a little juicy. We don't want juicy. So we'll play around with that a little bit in terms of finishing him, but I cannot do that until this wash is completely dry and that base is completely dry. But this again is the Bone Devil from WizKids, their Wave 9 line. They are available for purchase out in stores now. They're no longer in preview mode. So that is that. I will figure out which grouping I'm going to do again for my patrons to vote for September. Oh my God, September. And we'll find out on Wednesday next week who gets color. And we'll see how long that one takes as well. The Cthulhu one took 3 weeks because of the size of it. So I'm probably going to aim for some slightly smaller minis this go around. Maybe I might do some like interesting races. Yeah, I think I'm going to pull from my collection of races. I have tieflings, I have half-orcs, I have some bugbears. Yeah, I think I might do that. We'll see who they pick from that. Did I get the thing you sent? I need to get out to my P.O. box, sir, and see if I got the thing that you sent, and I will let you know. I have not had a chance to do that yet because I was out of town this weekend. So that is it for me for today. Thank you so much again, everyone, for coming out to play and hang out in the chats. Always enjoy it. Thank you so much, Dan. And yeah, I will see you all on the flip side on the socials. He will get his photo taken, and I will share it around on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And for now, be good to each other. Have a wonderful time. I will see you same time, same place, different date, and in a new month. How cool is that? All right. Bye, everyone.